So you're in the market for a new mid-size consumer crossover. There are a lot of options. Every manufacturer has at least one, if not multiple vehicles. So what makes the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe luxury hybrid unique? Well, it does offer a hybrid engine. It's a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder hybrid with a total combined power of 226 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. Now, that is quite a bit better than the standard 2.5-liter engine on this crossover, but nowhere near as good as the 2.5 turbo available at the top-end trim. But to really understand this crossover, we need to drive it.
And drive it we will, and that's why we're doing things just a little differently here on Test Drive. I want to get into the action a little quicker so that it's more interesting for you guys, but also we've had a heat wave here in Quebec for the past week, so it really hasn't been fun to be outside, so I want to limit the amount of time I'm actually outdoors, meaning this is a little bit easier. So let's talk about this 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe. First off, the fuel economy. We completed this 100-kilometer test loop with this vehicle in 6.6 liters per 100 kilometers. As always, the fuel economy for US miles per gallon is below in the title card. So that information is important because I want to compare it to some of the other vehicles we've tested, mainly the most recent other mid-size hybrid that we did, which was the Toyota Highlander. That completed our test loop in 5.8 liters per 100 kilometers. So this was quite a bit worse. Now the other thing too is this is only a 2-row crossover, meaning something like the 3-row Toyota Highlander not only offers more fuel economy, but more interior passenger space. How about some of the other vehicles that we've tested? Yeah, it's going to pretty much blow the doors off any other mid-size non-hybrid. But compared to the other vehicles that might be in line in terms of what you're looking for, something like the new Hyundai Tucson that we featured, which is also a hybrid at the top-end trim. That completed our test loop in 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers. Makes sense, that was a compact crossover. And then the Hyundai Sonata, which this kind of would be the SUV version of it, that completed our test loop in 4.5 liters per 100 kilometers. That's also front-wheel drive only, so those numbers all make sense. If you're looking for something that is going to be more fuel efficient, this might be the way to go. But let's talk about a couple of things that make the Santa Fe interesting, or at least some of the reasons why you might want to consider this. Yeah, it is pretty straightforward, okay? I'm not saying that it's a boring car, but it's not an exciting car, and it's okay. There are a lot of vehicles to choose from. Not every single one of them has to be bonkers, and I gotta say that the new Tucson, at first I was like, whoa, okay, we're dealing with a really funky looking design, but it kind of grew on me, and obviously consumers do like it too. We heard from a lot of you guys in the comments, you guys liked it, and I see quite a few of them on the road. But the thing about this Santa Fe is the new generation, which this is technically still considered the current generation, was only released a couple years ago, and then Hyundai did a facelift, which is this, but it's using a new platform as well. So it's kind of a new generation, but it doesn't seem to be. So the front end has gotten the biggest change. It's not aggressive. We have the T-shaped LED daytime running lights, which I think look pretty good. LED lights on the front as well. We have a full suite of safety technology on this vehicle, including adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, all this sort of safety stuff that you would expect. The things that you don't get because we don't have the ultimate calligraphy, as every manufacturer needs to have a very fancy sounding top-end trim. That one would get things like the 360-degree cameras, as well as the blind view monitor that we see a lot now, where you turn on a turn signal and it shows you the left or right camera, so you have a slightly better idea of what's in your blind spot. So you don't have that on this trim, but you do get quite a bit. I mean, we have ventilated and heated front seats, heated steering wheel, heated outboard rear seats with sunshades, and a panoramic sunroof. So we've got quite a bit going on for, a pretty average price in this segment. The hybrid is only available on this trim here in Canada. Your market may vary, but if you go up to the ultimate calligraphy, you're getting the 2.5 turbo, and if you go down a trim, you're getting the regular 2.5 liter engine. So if you want the hybrid, this is pretty much the only way it comes, which is kind of interesting because, it works. Would have been nice to try out the top-end trim, but I think most consumers who are going to be buying these are going to be probably looking at the kit that comes on this vehicle. So I think it works out, probably a smart move for Hyundai to have done it this way. But we're going to be seeing more hybrid vehicles coming out, so it would have been interesting if they had a little bit more choice for consumers. As I mentioned, we just came off driving the Toyota Highlander, and while that vehicle wasn't the fastest thing on the road, and neither is this, I still felt it provided quite a bit for consumers if they were looking at a vehicle. Plus, you had some choice when it came to the trim, so it's going to depend on what you want out of it, but I've been content with this. There just really is no standout feature. I mean, the hybrid maybe a couple years ago would have been a standout feature, but today, I mean, you know, it's a pretty average mid-size crossover, and that's okay sometimes. You don't always need to have something that's completely crazy. So if you're in the market for something, you need something comfortable, you need something that has a good ride, decent interior road noise, pretty much everything is right along the average line. Nothing that stands out, but nothing that's a red flag either. Then the 2021 Hyundai Santa Fe might be the two-row mid-size crossover for you.